Welcome back to another episode of Stay at Home Storytime. For all of my kindergartners tuning in, I want you to think about our social studies unit that we learned all about in order to get ready for our Black History Showcase. Way back, we started in December and we went all the way through the month of February, and it sort of just wrapped it up actually, not that long before school got closed because of the shelter in place and the virus that's happening. But I want you to think about some of the dancers that we got a chance to learn about. We learned about Misty Copeland, who's still alive today. We learned about Savion Glover, who's still alive today. We learned about Fatima Robinson, who's still alive today. But we also learned about dancers who had been alive in the past. Dancers such as Alvin Ailey, Bill Robinson, and Frankie Manning. Today, we're going to read a story about a little girl who really wants to be a ballerina. But she was living in New York around the same time that Alvin Ailey was living in New York. So remember, slavery was no longer a thing at this point, but segregation was still very real. Segregation was a time in the United States history where Black people and white people were separated purely because of the color of their skin. Black kids and white kids were not allowed to go to school together. They were not allowed to go to the same restaurants or use the same restrooms or drink out of the same water fountains. And all of that happened because there were people in the world who were racist, who felt like because people were Black, they were less. And although segregation ended with a lot of work from people like Martin Luther King Jr. to help end the laws, it doesn't mean that racism and segregation aren't still around in some ways today. So when we're reading this book, I want you to think about this little girl's story. And I want you to think, what were some of the things that she had to go through in order to be able to dance because she was living in the United States during segregation? But I also want you to think about some of the things that we learned about our dancers who are alive today, such as Misty Copeland. What were the things that they had to go through in order to become dancers because they were Black, even though technically segregation ended? Let's get started. Today's book is called A Dance Like Starlight, One Ballerina's Dream. This book was written by Kristy Dempsey and illustrated by Floyd Cooper. If you would like a copy of this book to add to your at-home library, check out the description below for the link to a local bookstore who's selling this book. It's important during this time to buy your books from local stores to help keep independent bookstores open. Stars hardly shine in the New York City sky, with the factories spilling out pillars of smoke and street lights spreading bright halos round their pin-top faces. It makes it hard to find a star. Even harder to make a wish. The one wish that if I could just breathe it out loud to the first star of night, I might be able to believe it true. Every evening I search the sky while Mama unpins the extra wash she's taken on to make ends meet. From our rooftop, I gaze at the city skyline and whisper my wish, even though there's no stars to be found. Not a single one. Night after night. Mama says wishing on stars is a waste anyhow. Says you don't need stars in the sky to make your dreams come true. Hope can pick your dreams up, she says, off the floor of your heart. When you think it can't happen, no how, no way. Though unlike wishing, Mama says, hoping is hard work. If there's one thing Mama knows, it's hard work. Mama works all day long, every day, and most times into the night for the ballet school. She's been cleaning and stitching costumes there since before I was a baby. Through the years, we've spent so much time around ballet for fittings and rehearsals and mendings that before I even knew it, a dream got inside of my heart. I didn't have to tell Mama for her to take notice. She saw my dreaming when I tiptoed to her sewing corner to slip on those beautiful costumes. She saw it when I twirled in front of her faded mirror repeating every move that I'd seen at rehearsals. What do you think her dream is she's hoping for? Yeah, she's hoping to become a ballerina, just like the ballerinas that she gets to watch rehearse while her mom was helping to make the costumes. The ballet master saw it too. When I stood backstage during a recital and did an entire dance in the wings, from beginning to final bow. Do you think she noticed the dance master watching her? Probably not. I wonder what the dance master is going to do. So here's the little girl, and there's the dance master. I turned away when I saw him watching, ashamed how he saw me trying to do their dance. But he took my face in his hands and looked into my eyes. "Brava, ma petite," he told me. "Brava." That's when hope picked up in my heart. Off of the floor of my heart, just like Mama said, and it started to grow. The ballet master made an arrangement for me to join lessons each day from the back of the room, even though I can't perform on stage with white girls. Every class, I try harder to stand taller, to leap higher, to dance better. Wait a second. She just said she had to be in the back of the room for her lessons and that she can't perform on stage with white girls. Those were the laws at the time that she was alive. Do you think that people shouldn't be allowed to perform on stage or stand at the front of the room just because of the color of their skin? No way. But that was her lived experience at the time. Every once in a while, when Miss Adams is especially surprised, or perhaps even pleased with my form, she asks me to demonstrate a movement for the whole class. With every bend, I hope. With every plie, every turn, every grand jeté, I hope. The harder I work, the bigger my hope grows, and the more I wonder, could a colored girl like me ever become a prima ballerina? Then, last week, in Mr. Gray's day-old paper, I saw a picture of Jeanette Collins, and a whole heart full of hope leapt up and spun itself around my mind, making me dizzy with promise. Miss Jeanette Collins, first colored prima ballerina, Metropolitan Opera House. Mama says we'll be there tonight to see Miss Collins dance, even though it'll cost her half of what she's put back for a new sewing machine. So remember when we learned about Misty Copeland, and Misty Copeland said that one of her role models when she was a kid was Jeanette Collins. Well, this is Jeanette Collins. Jeanette Collins was the very first African-American woman to be able to be a prima ballerina and to get to dance on stage at a major opera house in the United States. She helped pave the way for other African-American women to be able to become ballerinas and eventually perform. Waiting now for the bus, my feet won't stop. Their tippy-tap, jump and jingle can hardly wait and wiggle. She's so excited to get to see Jeanette Collins perform. It takes 3 different buses to get where we're going. I keep checking Mama's watch and straining my neck to see how far we've gone. But in this crowded bus from our place in the back, all I can see are sidewalks and storefronts. It makes it hard to see the tops of high-rises, landmarks that would let me know we're close, or ones that I would recognize from wishing on the skyline every single night. When we finally reach our stop, I hop from the bus and stare at the huge building in front of me. I watch fancy people entering through the doorway. I tug my jacket and smooth my hair. Then Mama takes my hand and we go inside. As we enter the auditorium of the Metropolitan Opera House, I think I must look small. Even Mama looks small. Why do you think she says that her and her mom look small? Yeah, because it was a huge theater. Remember when we went to go see the Oakland Ballet's Nutcracker? When you walked in the lobby, did you feel just a little bit smaller because of how tall and beautiful the building was? Maybe just a little. The curtain goes up and I inch forward to the edge of my seat, listening to the rush of the music and the round voices of singers, but waiting, watching for Miss Collins. When she glides onto the stage, I don't know if I'm dreaming, if I'm even breathing, because she doesn't seem to touch the floor. She twirls and my heart jumps from where I'm sitting, soaring, dancing, opening wide with the swell of music. In my heart, I'm the one leaping across that stage, raising myself high on those shoulders, then falling slowly, slowly, slowly to the arms below. It's like Miss Collins is dancing for me, only for me, showing me who I can be. All my hoping wells up and spills over, dripping all my dreams onto my Sunday dress. What does that mean? All my hoping wells up and spills over, dripping all my dreams onto my Sunday dress. Yeah, it means she's crying. She's so happy and excited to see someone that looks like her dancing on stage that it makes her heart so happy she cries. Have you ever cried tears of joy when you've been moved by something? When it's all over, I clap for the singers, the members of the chorus, for the musicians and the maestro, but I shout for Janet Collins, joining a chorus of brava, brava, many voices strung. Hope puffs up my chest, just a bit. One day, those voices will be for me. Mama and I dance our way home under the night sky, and I don't even try to catch a glimpse of the first star. No need to waste my wishes. I've got dreams coming true. Author's note. On November 13th, 1951, 4 years before singer Marian Anderson's Metropolitan Opera debut, dancer Janet Collins became the first African-American hired to perform under contract with the Metropolitan Opera. Though she had been denied the opportunity to dance with other ballet troupes because of the color of her skin, Met Ballet master Zachary Slav was so taken by her skill and beauty as a dancer. His choreography of the opening night opera was inspired by her movement. Rudolph Bing, general manager of the opera from 1950 to 1972, considered his greatest achievement to be having hired Miss Collins, breaking the barrier that existed for African-American performers of her era. Miss Collins' performance on opening night, and the fact that she was colored, as African Americans were called at that time, was both highly publicized in advance. Though I've only imagined this little girl and her mother were at the Met to see Miss Collins perform, I hope many women, regardless of their age or the color of their skin, are inspired to achieve their own dreams through her historic performance. So in this story, we met a little girl who finally got the opportunity to see someone that looked like her perform on stage, something in the entirety of history that had never been done before. And that gave her the hope to know that she could make a change in the future and that she could achieve whatever she wanted, regardless of the color of her skin. What are some of your dreams, and what are things that you think might be in the way of you achieving them? What can you do, or who can you look to help figure out the adversities that you need to work through in order to make the future a different place? Until next time, bye!